Hello, I want to welcome everybody to the 21st Annual Art Festival here in Calabasas. We are the luckiest community. We have good weather, beautiful art, everything you want in a community is here in Calabasas. But today, we have 140 artists, all doing different mediums of work, painting, sculpting, jewelry, watercolors. So I welcome you to this fabulous festival. I hope you'll come and spend the whole day here.
The sculptures that I make is like it's made out of tarnish-resistant wire, accented with professional-grade Swarovski crystals like basket weaving, drawing, and the building of clay combined. I've been doing it since I was 8 years old, so I don't sketch anything. I just, from a photo or whatever, and I just do it. They can take from a week or so to 3 or 4 months for the ones here. I have some at the gallery. It took 6-7 months to do.
Okay, so we specialize in crystal glazed porcelain. And ceramics is really the most technical of all art mediums. Crystal glazes are the most technical of ceramics. So it really takes a long time. There's a lot of things to learn as we go through this process. It begins with wheel thrown form. We use only commercial porcelain. And after we make it, then we trim it and it goes through a bisque fire, which is, it turns it from clay to a type of rock. And that's where the magic comes in. That's where the chemistry comes in. Crystal glazes have to be over-fired, so they actually run down the piece, and they have a little dish, a catcher, that catches the runoff. And then we drop the temperature and hold it there.
Yeah, and because it's so specialized for ceramicists or potters, you have to, I guess you don't have to, but you pretty much only do crystal glaze or you don't do it at all, because it is so specialized. And obviously we have chosen to pursue only crystal glazing.
My process is that I will put a clear glass and I start to draw the picture of what I want to draw, and then I apply the powder color glass onto the glass that I just draw, and then I eliminate the excess glass that I don't want, and then I put that glass into the glass kiln to fire it up to 1400 degrees. When it cools down a day later, and I will look at it again and what color I have to go on the top of it until I get the right consistent of color, then I will stop firing.
Hi, I'm Jen Duran, and I paint with mostly watercolor, but I use inks as well on these canvases. I'm very much inspired by human emotion, nature, and also by music. Song lyrics often inspire many of my paintings. Watercolor and ink, mostly, especially on paper. I really prefer watercolor. I like the kind of chaos that there is from watercolor. I call it a controlled chaos. You never really know how it's gonna kind of spread and what it's gonna do, but for me, that's the fun of it. I like to kind of incorporate realism with like a modern kind of contemporary look. So I am heavily inspired by emotion, which is pretty much the recurring theme in my work. I try to get the viewer to be drawn in and kind of insert themselves into the work. So that's kind of my goal, is to have you come in and you may not like it all, but there might be something that for whatever reason it speaks to you, it brings you to maybe a moment in your life. And that's really what I try to do for me as an artist, is connect the viewer to the work in a very meaningful way.
My sculptures are made of dichroic glass, and I love using this glass because of its effervescence quality. It was actually developed by NASA in the late 70s. They were using it on their shields of their helmets and also the windows of the satellites and at the end of their cameras. And by it, I mean glass that has metals on it. So blues are created from things like copper and magnesium, and when you heat it up, it has this beautiful sparkle. So my technique is layering this beautiful dichroic glass. I do a lot of testing, that's what these little guys are, but once I like them, I go big. I put these together and heat them up to about 1400 degrees, and they begin to melt at that point, and then I bring the heat down pretty quickly to retain the texture that you see. People ask me often what my inspiration is, and I often just say that I'm the conduit here. Something's definitely working through me to create these beautiful pieces. But I do believe that beauty is everywhere and that we should surround ourselves with things that we love, either art or other things, because it just makes us have more energy for our day.
My work is a cross between pop art and Italian Renaissance paintings. It's two very different sets of influences, but they kind of come together in my work here. A lot of the backgrounds of these paintings are broken up, the colors showing through, and that was inspired by seeing old frescoes falling apart in Italy. Started looking at old billboards and things here that started out brand new and are getting more interesting as they age and deteriorate, kind of like people. These are acrylic paintings. I worked in oils for most of my life. And when I started doing this intense layering in these paintings, I was waiting too long for it to dry. So I switched to acrylics. And I'm usually working on 4 or 5 large paintings at once. I get them all sketched in and I work on them as a group. And I want them to all be related to each other, but also very different from each other. So you end up with a set of paintings that are talking to each other on the wall.
Started doing jewelry back in the early 80s, actually started in college, and it's just kind of evolved from there. My style is definitely Southwest with a little cowgirl edge to it. And I use a process called fabrication, which if you know anything about metals is basically everything is done with hand tools starting from the ground up, and it is built totally from scratch. So all the silver starts out as flat sheeter wire. And then it is built from there. All the cutting, hammering, shaping, soldering, everything is done by hand.
So I am the chair extraordinaire at Green Thumb, etc. That's the name of my home business. I'm located in Minnesota, so I actually drove here just for this festival to do this. And what I do is I custom upholster furniture. So I find old pieces that are discarded down dark alleys and dumpsters, and I pull them out, I strip them down, completely upcycle them, all new materials, anything, and in the image of my client. So if you had something totally wild in your brain that you wanted to make and have put on a chair to reflect you in your home, that's what I do.
Beautiful, setting the mood for another spectacular Calabasas Fine Arts Festival. Thank you all for being here. My name is Fred Gaines. I'm the mayor of Calabasas, and I'm joined today by, thank you, I'm joined by our Mayor Pro Tem David Shapiro and council members Alicia Weintraub and James Bazagian. I want to make special note that we are very sad that we are losing our longtime city manager. 15 years, Tony Corrales has been our city manager. He is retiring, and we are going to miss him so much. He's been a tremendous supporter of the Arts Festival, and Tony, we are going to miss you. He's retiring at the end of the month, and his wife Patty, who's also been just spectacular for here in the city. Patty, we're going to miss you so much. And maybe the most artistic of our little dogs, and always little color, a little art goes along with the Corrales pups there. So we're going to miss them very much, and congratulations on your retirement. But we are all here for really because of one person, and that is Lorene Morick, who has been the head of our Arts Council and who has led put together this Arts Festival for 21 years. The Arts Festival can have a drink tonight. It's old enough, and it is deserving of it. But she has, and it's not just organizing what you see. She spends almost all year traveling to other arts festivals, finding artists, inviting artists, deciding which artists should be replaced with new ones, and so that when you walk around and you notice the quality and the uniqueness of the art and the jewelry and the photography and the ceramics and all the things you see here, that's because basically Lorene Morick has found these artists and brought them here to Calabasas, and we are so grateful to you, Lorene, for all of the great work that you've done for so many years. And we have, my council colleagues and I, we have a special presentation for you, so come forward. We have a certificate for Maureen, but more importantly, Maureen, we've picked out a piece of artwork for you. So we want you to take home something from the festival. So Maureen, thank you. I don't know if you want to say something.
I want to thank everybody for coming to this beautiful art festival this year. Stay and shop and eat. And let's just hope that we continue for many years bringing and fulfilling the goal of bringing art to our city. Thank you very much.